School is not exactly the highlight of most people, and that is definitely the case in anime. Imagine transferring to another school and impressing all the students with how unbelievably overpowered you actually are. Thanks for joining us today at Animeology. Today we've got an interesting list for you. A collection of exceptional anime series with an insanely overpowered transfer student. Make sure to stick around until the end, because the chances are you've never heard of our top 3. Number 10. Haven't you heard? I'm Sakamoto. One of the biggest and more well-known recommendations on this list, but we love Sakamoto so much that we just had to. A comedy through and through, this is a series that brings the sheer overpowered to hilarious levels that had us crying from laughter. Around the insanely cool and popular Sakamoto, a student that is well liked and a boy genius, there is nothing that phases this insanely overpowered student. In a variety of strange situations due to the many pranks played on him by, well, all the students of the school, Sakamoto often manages to come out looking even cooler than before. A huge laugh guaranteed from every single gag. This is a brilliantly written anime series that is pretty unique at its heart. The character of Sakamoto is honestly more like an overpowered god than just a student of a school, but we love him all the same. You've probably heard of Sakamoto, but definitely worth a rewatch. Number 9. Quality Code. A fun action series with some interesting touches of the supernatural, Quality Code does not revolutionize anything, but delivers a perfectly polished and well-rounded anime series that will always be considered one of the greats. Taking place in a world ripped apart by war between humankind and a strange enemy referred to as the Unknown. We follow a group of children that were locked in hibernation and then reawoken many years later. These children have since developed insanely powerful supernatural abilities and are now tasked with defending Japan. Fighting battles all across the country, the action comes hard and fast in Quality Code, with little time to rest. With an interesting crew of characters and some fantastic world building that is delivered masterfully, Quality Code is an icon of modern anime. Number 8. Unlimited Fanfare. A fantastic blend of action and fantasy with a high-quality harem thrown in just in case, Unlimited Fanfare delivers some high-octane action and fight scenes alongside some masterful interpersonal character relationships that had us hooked from the very first episode. Painting an interesting world filled with dragons and other supernatural monsters, these dragons ripped the world apart and caused widespread death and destruction, until mysteriously vanishing. However, these girls began appearing with abilities extremely similar to those of the dragons. These dragon girls attend an all-girl academy and learn to control their powers in order to battle these powerful supernatural dragons. The story really kicks off many years later when the only male dragon-powered human shows up. After being discovered, our hero is forcibly thrown into this all-girl academy, improving their powers, battling dragons, and slowly unraveling the truth behind the world keeps Unlimited Fanfare an extremely engaging watch and an absolutely brilliant anime series. Number 7. Codebreaker. With some great action and some brilliant storytelling, Codebreaker is a superb anime series that slowly unravels a grim and gritty backstory that had us hooked. A world filled with secret organizations and undiscovered operations. Codebreaker will have you on the edge of your seat, following Sakura Sakakoji as he casually looks outside a bus he's on and sees a huge fire and people being burned alive, with a mysterious boy her age starring. Rushing back the next day, there's no evidence of any fire or murder, but on getting to school, she sees the same strange boy she saw the day before. We soon learn that the mysterious boy is Ryogami, a special type of assassin with an odd ability. It's only a matter of time before Ri drags Sakura into this heavy-hitting world of secret organizations and thrilling action. Number 6. Asterix War. A brilliant action anime with a strong foundation of world building that has since seen Asterix War expand from light novels, manga, to even video games. Taking a more mature and grim look at a semi-realistic future, Asterix War is very much grounded in reality, but is still not afraid to let loose with some awesome super-powered battles. Set on Earth filled with huge businesses and mega corporations running rampant, absolutely running wild and leading us towards a rapidly declining economic state. We learn of a huge apocalyptic event that destroyed most of Earth's cities and resulted in some superpowered humans. These superpowered humans battle in epic tournaments and are trained in elite academies across the planet. The city of Rika, or Asterix, is filled with 6 such academies. We follow the city's 5th ranking academy that is seriously struggling. The story kicks off with a completely student council shakes up as the academy looks to restore its former glory and become the greatest in all of Asterix. A complex anime series with multiple story threads running simultaneously. An engaging and intense watch from the very first episode. You do not want to miss out on Asterix War. Number 5. Blade Dance of the Elementalers.
汝に命ずる汝我と契りを結びたまえ
An enjoyable action comedy series that does not take itself too seriously, bringing forward some extremely enjoyable and engaging fight scenes cut in between absolutely hilarious and engaging scenes of humor and interesting character development. The story kicks off with the arrival of a teenager by the name of Kimoto and his invitation to a prestigious spirit academy. The story of Blade Dance takes place in a world where spirits actually exist and only pure maidens are able to contact them, training from an early age as elementalists. So you can imagine the upset as one of the only male elementalists arrives. The story is not a very high-concept anime, but never too confusing, with decently simplistic ideas behind the magic and fantasy. Blade Dance of the Elementalers is an anime series with a little bit of something for absolutely everyone. Do yourself a favour and definitely check this one out. Number 4. Armed Girls Machiavellianism. Another awesome action series with light touches of comedy, Armed Girls Machiavellianism really pushes the power of the human spirit to insane levels. Our MC Fudo Manura is one of the bravest we've seen, having recently been expelled from his old high school due to an insanely massive and very violent fight. Forced to attend an elite private school where the female students have been violently oppressing their male classmates. Fudo won't have any of it, immediately approached by a vigilante all-girl group that is known as the Supreme Five Swords. Fudo does not back down and reveals his insane fighting ability. Powerful palm strikes, his knife-proof gloves, and a crazy signature technique known as the Spirit Bullet. Fudo Manura is one of the most overpowered transfer students we've ever seen in an anime series, and one that you desperately need to see. Number 3. Unbreakable Machine Doll. An interesting use of fantasy in a light history anime that doesn't take itself too seriously, not afraid of some interesting and brilliantly done action scenes, and with an interesting cast of characters, helped keep the Unbreakable machine doll as one of the most engaging anime series to come out in a while. Set in an alternative version of the 20th century United Kingdom, scientists have managed to blend both technology and magic, circuits made of spells, and true artificial intelligence. Robot-like androids were developed as deadly military weapons and controlled by puppeteers. We follow Reishin Akabane, a puppeteer coming to the UK from Japan in order to study this interesting blend of technology and magic. The story starts to deepen as we slowly learn the insanely overpowered transfer student actually had his entire family murdered by a mysterious genius, and that Ration is actually on a hunt for revenge. An interesting world with a high-octane blend of action and thrilling suspense. We were on the edge of our seats throughout the Unbreakable machine doll, and we guarantee that you will be too. Number 2. Soul Eater. It's no secret that we, at Animeology, have a great weakness for dark comedy and dark fantasy. It should come as no surprise that Soul Eater is easily one of the best anime series out there, and that it has a masterful use of action to push through its superb comedy and fantasy elements. Set primarily in a death weapon academy, we closely follow 3 teams of hunters and weapons, all on the hunt for creating the Death Scythe, the ultimate weapon to be used by the head of the academy, a Shinigami, a death god. Each team must collect the souls of 99 evil humans and 1 witch. A hilariously grim anime series filled with death and killing and murder, but a consistently fun and engaging watch that had us coming back for more. The core team and side characters do a brilliant job, and the many high-octane fight scenes had us amazed. With a surprisingly unique and interesting art style and a very cool gothic setting, a very stylish anime series that really shines through its many engaging story points and arcs. And number 1. D. Gray Man. One of the more unique anime series we've come across, D. Gray Man, is a series that really builds an interesting and highly intuitive world, creating the perfect setting for this brilliant dark fantasy and science fiction world. An awesome sense of adventure with some exciting characters and unique situations, well known amongst dedicated anime fans, but a bit harder to get into than most mainstream anime series. Set in an interesting version of the 19th century, we follow Alan Walker, a young man that transfers in and joins an organization of exorcists that call themselves the Black Order. Using their powers, they combat a demonic army that is hell-bent on destroying all of humanity, drawing heavy inspiration from the Bible and tales of Christianity, with characters such as Noah and the 12 Apostles being used as inspiration. Insanely powerful magical weapons, swords and guns, the innocent and the evil. D. Gray Man creates a brilliant sense of dark fantasy and wraps this story up nicely around an epic battle in order to save the planet. The story does swing into some very interesting places with that strong element of magic and action. There are interesting notes of horror and suspense that guarantees that D. Gray Man is quite like anything else you've ever seen. Do yourself a favor and go check this out. You will not regret it.